It was a one-room cottage. The interior wall here does not exist until the 19th century when they divided the space to make some storage room. So it was a slightly larger open rectangle, kind of like a studio apartment. There was a door and two windows on that side. There was a door over here where the window is on the right and a window on this side. There was no glass in the windows. There was a packed earth floor. The wooden floor doesn't show up in here for at least a generation. There was no ceiling. The Dutch were doing what they called lofting. So it went straight up to the peak of the roof, and then what they would do is put some planks over the beams to make some overhead storage space. It was not considered to be a second story. It was mainly a place to work off bags and barrels of things which had already been opened, so you didn't have to keep going down into the root cellar. And the root cellar, by the way, was not under the house. It was outside in the kitchen garden somewhere. One of the significant features of a house like this is the hearth. It's called a jamless hearth. And if you guys want to kind of separate so everybody can see it, it's not intended to have sides. The jambs are your door jambs, the sides of your door frame. This has no sides. That's one of the ways we know the wall was not there. The Dutch never build a jamless hearth into a corner. It defeats the purpose. They like to get at all three sides of the hearth. These hearths are about twice as deep as a normal fireplace, and you'll see that when we get into the other part of the house. It's also plaster wall, which isn't fireproof, which means it wasn't there until they put their first wood-burning stove in, and that doesn't happen until the 19th century. It's a very large hearth. A town hearth would probably have been about a third the size of a country hearth. This was an industrial part of farm life. This is where they were making all of their basic necessities of life, and that was going to have to carry them through an entire year. The greatest amount of industry in these hearths would have happened in the fall, which is the harvest and slaughtering season. So it would have seen a lot of food